Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. A locally supported petition is demanding that paramedics be given the COVID vaccine along with other frontline workers. Also, we take a look back at this crazy year called 2020. As well, 3 cheers for UFE athletes or scholars as well. Our special guests this week include Rachel Caroline Plaza, Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove, and our look back at 2020. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. The slug line for the change.org petition is rather blunt. Paramedics are the front line. There's a petition on change.org that is asking for a minimum of 10,000 signatures to have all paramedics be vaccinated for COVID along with other frontliners. A newly arrived couple in Chilliwack, just moved here from Surrey, brought this to the attention of chillTV. They didn't want their names broadcast. The wife is now a retired EMS nurse and said, quote, "Our son is an advanced card paramedic in Vancouver. This is an issue that's near and dear to us. The public assumes paramedics are essential services, but they are excluded from that distinction." Now, the hope is that the thousands of signatures will convince federal and provincial politicians across Canada to have paramedics vaccinated for COVID as soon as possible. Now, according to the provincial health officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, BC has identified the first case of a person in our province affected with the COVID-19 UK variant. Now, the person who lives on Vancouver Island returned to BC from the UK on an Air Canada flight 855. That was December the 15th. That person developed symptoms while in quarantine and was immediately tested. Testing confirmed the positive diagnosis on December 19th. A small number of close contacts have been isolated, and public health is now following up with them daily. What Dr. Henry did not mention were the homes of the others on that same flight, and that information has not been released. So right now, it's not known if any of those passengers were from the Fraser Valley. It was a busy Christmas day for the Cultus Lake Fire Department. Crews responding to a vehicle rollover. Fortunately, nobody was seriously hurt. Meanwhile, for the Chilliwack River Valley Fire Department, it was a very busy week for the professional volunteers. A total of 14 call-outs in 7 days, 5 first responder calls, 3 hydro incidents, 1 public assist, and 6 MVIs. And the snow didn't help. Yeah, so much for the Christmas break. COVID restrictions on social gatherings and homes remains in place until January the 8th at the earliest. Now, this affects BC Transit. Normally, buses on New Year's Eve would run late into the night, and for some, fares would be waived. Both are not the case this year. In an effort to keep people home, BC Transit will have the regular times and the regular fares. And a couple of other New Year's reminders. Dog licenses have to be renewed before January the 1st, or you get hit with a $200 penalty. Business licenses have to be renewed by January 1st as well. And with the new year comes the new schedule for garbage and recycling pickup. And still to come, our review of 2020 with Rachel Caroline Plaza. chillTV's News of the Week and the tradition of looking back at the year we have gone through. 2020, to say it was unique is an understatement. Rachel Caroline Plaza joining us. Normally you see her on Chilliwack Tonight. She's joining us here for News of the Week. Thanks for coming on board.
Thank you for having me.
A few of the stories that were bubbling under record overdose numbers, it just was heartbreaking. The Cultus Lake tree cut that allegedly nobody knew about, but was actually passed back in April by the Cultus Lake Board. The Harrison Fountain in the lagoon, it is supposed to help the problem of, dare we say it, goose poop. Have you seen the fountain yet?
I have not. I have not been to Harrison. Maybe once in the summer. Gosh.
If you can, try and go see it at night. It is really something to see.
Nice.
It lights up. It's gorgeous.
Nice.
And it's supposed to take care of the goose poop. 5 Corners taking shape, and
Beautiful.
that project is phenomenal. The top 3 stories. Number 3, we would be remiss without having to mention Barry Neufeld and the R word. Yes. And that controversy, I know, hit you.
I have very strong opinions about it, and I just hope our community comes together and this is rectified in swiftly.
In due time, yeah.
Yeah.
And the school board, by the way, is under review under the new Minister of Education, Willa Reichelt, now the new school board chair, replacing Dan Coulter, who goes into our number 2 story of the year as the provincial election turned the Fraser Valley NDP orange. Dan Coulter becoming the Chilliwack MLA, Kelly Padden for Chilliwack Kent. I didn't see this one coming, and you were with us on election night here. That was an electric night.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
It was good for Chilliwack to have a little bit of pep in its step when it came to election night for us. I mean, we were all, captivated by what was going on in the U.S., but we had our own bit of drama here. It was pretty, yeah.
And the effect of Diane Jansen and Jason Lum on the vote, even though they didn't win, they played spoiler. The number 1 story, obviously COVID, but it was the scope from business to schools to anti-vaxxers on social media. But there was also one other thing that was something that raised your eyebrow.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just, the mental health, the collective mental health of our society, the fact that we were in quarantine, in isolation, and these things haven't happened in our lifetime. And I think on many levels, it brought families closer, but it also kept families apart. And at times there were some silver linings to all this. So it was a devastatingly an interesting year, for sure.
And I know you have dare I say it, a parting shot for 2020?
Sure. So I just want to say to 2021, just be better. You don't have to be in the top 20 of years or the top 10. You just have one job. Be better than 2020, please.
Rachel, thank you for joining us. Coming up next, our conversation, a year-ender, with Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove on chillTV's News of the Week. Welcome back to chillTV's News of the Week in Councillor's Corner, Chilliwack City, with the Mayor Ken Popove as we say goodbye to this 2020. Mayor, healthcare and masks, and I can only imagine what your inbox looks like every single day dealing with COVID. Has it been fairly stressful for you?
At some points it is. People's expectations of what we at City can do are sometimes laughable, but we have to respond to the emails. But it certainly has been a different year. I won't doubt that. We had to pivot at City Hall, which we talked about already, but we changed our concourse so there's no entry into the hall itself. We as a council have gone virtual, but I'm happy to say that our next meeting on the 5th of January, Chambers has been set up where I can get my team in there again, which is great. Doing Zoom is a little stressful, but it certainly has been a different year. I, like everybody else, we didn't sign up for this, but myself in my position, we've certainly had to pivot. But I'm proud of what we've done and where we are, and keep up the good work, Chilliwack. Absolutely.
One thing about your job is you're in the spotlight because of, dare I say it, churches and fines and COVID. How much have you been in the consulting part of this with the powers that be and the fines that have been levied?
Well, it is a touchy subject, Don, which and there are 3 groups that feel that they're above the public health officers' rulings on this to not have gatherings, and they have been fined accordingly. I have voiced my opinion because for me, there's a thing called a permissible tax, so they don't pay the taxes, but these folks could, tax our healthcare system. And that's the thing that irritates me is they think they're above that, and really they're not. And with that, I certainly want to shout out to our healthcare workers. I know a lot of them, probably couldn't celebrate Christmas as it was, but thank you guys for keeping Chilliwack safe and healthy.
On lighter subjects, 2020, we've seen some major projects. 2021, I'm assuming we're going to have some more. I guess would be the completion of that whole area of Vetter and Promontory. hydro lines and such. Anything else that's that major that's going to happen in 2021?
Well, those are the two major ones, absolutely. And I'm going to start off by saying I'm sorry. We'll have to have some patience because there will be road closures. Like a lot of flag folks will be out there slowing people down and stopping people. But it's all for the better good of Chilliwack's road infrastructure. Yes, the projects are going to be going next year. As I was coming to your studio today, I see Hydro has finally got the poles moved for the sections that we are going to widen out. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. A lot of things are going to be happening, absolutely. But other than what we have, those are the major ones. The folks downtown, Spadina Avenue is almost completed. I get some mixed reviews on that, but I think it looks awesome. It's a far cry from what it was, and the pump track is 99% complete. I know there's been some kids on it already, which they've, I guess, jumped the fences, but go have fun, whatever. It's all good.
One thing that will be a touchy subject in discussion a few months down the road, and that will be the portal, the shelter. Are you expecting another rather terse council meeting, let alone a public hearing?
Well, at that meeting, I think it was about a year or so ago, that was probably the longest meeting that I've ever been involved with, and with over 50 speakers. I think it was like 6 hours long, and we heard the pros and the cons, and we established an 18-month period to move it. BC Housing has purchased some land on the south side of the tracks. That project is still ongoing. The space allocation is what they're working on right now. I expect to have their proposal into City Hall. I was hoping to have it prior to the new year, but we're still hoping to have a late spring opening. But I know that 18-month reprise that we gave on that move, I'm sure we're not going to meet that, but we'll be well on our way to have that project done by spring. But it's something that's needed to be done. It'll be a overbuild of what we have. Obviously, it'll be 4 floors. There'll be a floor of the warming center, which will be done with shower, laundry, kitchen. The next floor, we're working with the First Nations folks to provide some flex space to do a culturally correct Indigenous area that's going to provide some services. With the numbers that we have on the street, I think the last number I had was about 44% of the folks that are on the street are of Indigenous descent. So what we're trying to set up is an urban Indigenous office is what it's going to be, with, like I say, with some services provided, and then the next 2 floors will be some more supportive housing. So we'll have approximately another 100 folks off the street. So that's something to look forward to. With the wraparound services, which are very, very important, that's going to be a project that's it's going to make a difference.
And coming into 2021, you have 2 rookie MLAs in the area that you are now going to work with. Any major, I would assume Portal will be one of them, any other major concerns you want to take to, and in particular because of Chilliwack, you want to take to Dan Coulter?
Well, we did have a Zoom meeting with the 2 of them and congratulated on their win. And it's nice to have some great representation of this end of the valley. I've been a proponent of what BC Housing has been doing through the NDP role. So yeah, we had a whole host of issues that we brought forward. It was like drinking water out of a fire hose for those 2, but we wanted to make our point, and maybe we can discuss some of those points at a later date. But I'm expecting good things out of the 2 of them.
Mayor Ken Popove, 2020 is almost over, thank goodness, but a happy new year and all the best in 2021.
Yes, and thanks for having me up here, and everybody in Chilliwack. I wish everybody a great 21. Let's put 20 behind us and continue to follow the public health officer's advice. I know the vaccines are getting administered, and I know BC is doing a great job of that, and let's all just stay safe and be kind to everybody.
That's the state of the city right now. Mayor Ken Popove, thanks again. And you're watching Chill TV's News of the Week. Chill TV Sports, the University of the Fraser Valley Athletic Department announcing academic award winners for the 2019-2020 academic year. They include Veronica Kobes, Sahib Sidhu, and the women's volleyball team, all taking the top honors. The President's Shield, that recognizes the team with the highest academic average. That went to the women's volleyball team, which combined for an outstanding 3.66 GPA. 12 student athletes from the squad managed at least a 3.5 individually, and that is an incredible accomplishment. The Cascades also celebrated 65 student athletes for academic excellence, including 31 who earned academic plaudits from their respective national governing bodies. While the British Columbia Hockey League and the Pacific Leagues remain in COVID limbo, the Chilliwack Chiefs and the Jets did get some good news. Now, the current restrictions on who really is an adult in team sports, that's been relaxed to include 19 and 20-year-olds. So that allows the Chiefs and the Jets players of that age to return to practice with their respective clubs. Now, the current COVID restrictions remain until January the 8th at the earliest. So right now, it's too early to tell if both leagues will even have a season this year. Chill TV weather, 2021 is going to come in with plenty of rain and highs around 7. Now, Environment Canada is forecasting for an unsettled first few weeks of January with the potential of snow on the valley floor. Now, if you'd like to participate in reporting in news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn, and for everybody here at Chill TV, Happy New Year and a better 2021.